everybody, it's Dr. Joe, and today I'm going to show you 7 ways to relieve back pain. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert! Disclaimer alert! So the first exercise / stretch is going to be lying down. Make sure you get in a nice comfortable position, so use a comfy pillow to get your head in a nice neutral position. Feet are going to be propped up. Your knees want to be about hip width apart, and so hip width is you can take your fist and then put them in between, and that ends up putting it about hip width apart. So the first exercise / stretch, because it's going to kind of loosen up everything, is just a pelvic tilt. Pelvic tilts don't look like a lot because there's not big movements, but it's really a great way to kind of help relieve back pain because a lot of those muscles around that pelvic area are really tight. So with a pelvic tilt, all you're trying to do is flatten out your back where that curve is, but you're not pushing with your feet. If you're kind of pushing in with your feet, you're not really doing the pelvic tilt right. You want to do like it sounds. You want to tilt that pelvis, but using your hips to do it, not your legs. So if you feel like you're pushing down, almost like you're coming up into a bridge, that's too much. You just really want to rotate it back. See, it's not a really big movement, but I'm trying to flatten everything out. So if you need to put something underneath just the first couple times you do it, that's fine. But you want to feel that movement there. So I'm just going to do a tilt and then hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds. Really kind of get those muscles working, get those muscles relaxing by working them a little bit. And then do maybe 5 or 10. So again, just holding it 3 to 5 seconds and then relaxing it. But again, if you feel like you're trying to come up a little bit using your legs, that's not quite a tilt. Because the next exercise is a bridge. So when you're bridging, you're in the same position, but now you're going to lift your bottom up off the floor or bed or couch. If you have a hard time getting down on the floor, you don't have to do these on the floor. You can do these on your bed. Might be a little bit harder, but don't try and get down on the floor if you know you're going to have a hard time getting up. So with a bridge, you really want to kind of come up one segment at a time. You're pushing those knees forward as you come up. You don't have to stop at each level, but you're not just coming up and down because then you're using momentum and you're not really using those muscles. You really want to activate those glute muscles. And if you come forward, or even if you bring your knees a little bit, or your feet a little bit closer to your bottom, you take the hamstrings a little bit out of it. And then as you come up, you want to try and get about level. You don't want to try and arch up higher. And if you're a little bit lower, that's okay, but you want to eventually try and get to here, and then nice and slow coming back down. So again, you don't have to stop at each segment, but you really want to roll that back instead of just popping up and down. So nice and slow coming up, a little squeeze at the top, and then slowly coming back down. So depending on how that feels, maybe you can only get to there. That's okay. Just start with what you can. Do about 5 to 10 and a couple sets of those throughout the day, just to get everything nice and moving. So the next exercise is going to be a trunk rotation. This can be an exercise or a stretch. So now you're going to bring your feet and your knees close together. With an exercise, you can go continuously side to side, or with a stretch, you can hold it. But you're just going to bring both knees down to one side to get a stretch. Your shoulders should stay down, so you're not coming all the way up, but your shoulders should stay down so you're getting that stretch. So again, if you want to do the stretch, then you're just going to hold it there for that 25 to 30 seconds, get that nice stretch. If you want to do an exercise, then you're just going to gently roll back and forth, pausing maybe just for a second or two back and forth. But make sure for the stretch or the exercise you're going both sides just to get everything loosened up and get some strengthening in there as well. So the next treatment is really using something like a TENS unit to help relieve that pain. And the great thing about TENS units is you can put them on while you're doing your stretches and exercises. And the folks at Auvon sent me their dual channel massager. And so this is really nice because it has 20 modes and it has 8 electrodes that come with it. What I really like about the Auvon brand is they have some really good instructions with their units. And if you've ever gotten a TENS unit before, you might know that sometimes manuals aren't the best with the units. And so as you can see here, their user manual does a nice job of showing what each mode does. And the reason that's important is with TENS units particularly, I always tell people it's really about your comfort level. It's all about pain control. But sometimes people want to know what those pictures mean. So what's really nice about this is it has the picture, and then it tells you what it's doing, and then it tells you what it's stimulating as well. And so I think that's a really nice component to have into a product. What's really cool about using a TENS unit, especially with back pain, is like I mentioned before, you can do these with your stretches and exercises. You don't necessarily just have to use a TENS unit and then sit there in one spot. They make them so portable now. You can see this. You can slip it in your pocket and have it on and even go do your activities. So when you're using a TENS unit for the four electrodes, you want to make sure they're crossing each channel, channel A and channel B. If you have it on your back and it's like this, then the current's just going to go up and down like this. So you really want them crossing so those currents make an X pattern into the middle of your pain. So I'm going to put them on my back real quick and then show you what it looks like. So now that I have them on, you can see here that it's kind of a square rectangular pattern, and those channels are crossing. So you want to make sure that they're crossing. Now sometimes it is a little bit harder if you put it on your back or your neck or something to do it by yourself. So it's always better to have somebody put it on for you. But if you have to put it on yourself, which is fine, with TENS unit electrode placements, you don't have to be exact. They don't have to be in this specific spot, this specific spot. You know, they don't have to necessarily be level. If you're like me and you like to have things level, you know, then when you're seeing it, you want that. But they don't have to be exact. If you're using EMS, it needs to be a little more specific. But I don't ever recommend using EMS near the spine. So like if you don't ever want to cross the spine, but I don't even really like using the EMS, which is the muscle stimulation on the back or the neck area. But since you're using TENS, you can cross the spine. I know sometimes a lot of people ask that, but if it's TENS and you're not having the muscles contracting, it's okay to cross that spine. So if you're interested in purchasing the Auvon dual channel unit, you can click on the link up there or in the description below. So I'm just going to go ahead and go on into the rest of my exercises with the unit on to make sure everything's feeling good while I'm doing it. So the next one is going to be a bridge with a ball squeeze. And so what the ball squeeze does, it starts actually using other muscles to help. So with the ball, you can use a ball. If you don't have a ball, you can use a pillow, you can use a yoga block, but you want it again to be about hip distance apart. This is a little further out, that's okay, not a big deal, but you don't want it to be something super big, and you don't want it to be something so small like a tennis ball. You want to have them still about hip width apart. So with this one, you're going to squeeze the ball, so you're activating those adductor muscles. While you're squeezing in, you're going to come up into that bridge. Try and keep that squeeze the whole time. Don't let that squeeze go while you're coming up, or let it slip out on you while you're coming up. So you're squeezing, coming up into that bridge, and then still rolling down really gently. So you're not just coming up and down. That's not really working it. That's just using momentum. But make sure you get that squeeze, come up into that bridge, and then nice and slowly come down. Since you're activating more than one group now of muscles, maybe you just want to do 5, couple sets of 5, see how it feels, then go up to 10, and then do that a couple times a day just to get it working. So then the next one is just going to be kind of the opposite direction with the bridging. So now you're just going to take a band, a resistive band, and the loop ones are nice because you don't have to tie a knot, but you can just, you know, make a little loop on your own if you've just got a regular resistive band. And so it's the same kind of concept now. I'm using the band to work my abductor muscles, the ones on the outside. I'm not doing this while I'm going up into the bridge. I'm just bringing my knees out to about that hip width apart, but I want to keep that distance the whole time. As we come up, a lot of times that band's going to want to pull your knees back in, but you want to activate those muscles so you're keeping about that same distance the whole time. and then nice and slow coming back down. It shouldn't be super hard. You don't want to have to be fighting the band the whole time. You're just trying to activate those muscles to get those muscles to work together with the glutes in the back. So again, just nice and slow coming up, little squeeze at the top, and then rolling nice and slow back down. So again, 5 to 10 to start off with. You can do a couple sets a couple times a day. And then so the last one is going to be a stretch kind of in a tall kneeling position. So the last stretch is going to be for the QL muscle or the quadratus lumborum. And so this muscle is one that's not stretched a lot. People don't think about it, but it does cause a lot of back pain. So in this tall kneeling position, make sure you protect the knee of the side that you're going to stretch, because you don't want to end up getting knee pain by putting all the pressure down on the floor. You're going to put the other leg out to the side. So if you have some balance issues, make sure you have your couch or your table or someone next to you just to make sure you've got some nice balance. So the side that I want to stretch is going to be the side that's down on into the pillow or something to protect that knee. You can place your other hand on the side here, and then you're going to bring the same arm of the knee that's down up. So if your QL is tight, just doing this, you might get a little bit of a stretch. If you need a little bit more of a stretch, try and keep your body straight. A lot of times people will rotate like this, but just bring your arm up and over, almost like you're trying to point towards the corner of the ceiling or the curve or point in the ceiling over on the other side. So I should feel that stretch through here. Since this is a full stretch, you want to hold it for 30 seconds. And see, I'm not coming over like this. I'm coming up and over. That's why you want to kind of point towards the ceiling or that corner as you're going and really get that stretch. See, I was turning a little bit, so you want to keep this kind of flat forward, not rotating, and then coming up to get that stretch. So when you're stretching the back, you want to make sure you're doing both sides, just because those muscles attach to the spine. So even if you're hurting more on one side, I would do both sides. So again, leg out. You might be getting a little bit of an adductor stretch with that. That's fine. That's good to stretch everything out. And then arm up. And if you're getting enough stretch with that, that's fine, holding for 30 seconds. And if you need a little bit more, that up and over, holding that stretch for about 30 seconds. So if you're interested in purchasing the Auvon dual channel TENS unit, make sure and click on the link up there or click on the link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe, and remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.